time for a bit of an update on Constantine 2. This is the Keanu Reeves movie that I wouldn't say threatened. We've been promised. We've been looking forward to for a little while now. But it is... yeah, there's some movement on it. And it all sounds very, very positive, actually. So I thought we'd take a look at this. This is, I don't know, a few days old now. But you may not have seen it. It wasn't really heavily publicised in a lot of the mainstream media because, of course, I got loads of other things to do this weekend with awards and things like that. But anyway, Constantine 2 has actually been pitched to James Gunn. And that is direct from Keanu Reeves. He reveals that. So, because Keanu Reeves did recently come out and say, hey, don't know whether I'm going to be able to do John Wick anymore because the mind is willing, the body is not. And I think that made a lot of people concerned. He's an old dude, right? Understandably, he's an old dude. So what he's saying is actually true. But lots of people were concerned, like, oh, well, maybe Constantine 2 won't happen. Maybe, he's sort of revealing that he's aging a little bit more than what he lets on, all this kind of stuff. But this is good news. This is good news. I like this news. But anyway, it says this. Keanu Reeves confirms that Constantine 2 has been pitched to DC Studios and is ready to move forward to the script stage. So, that's good. That is good. Presumably that means that they approved it and they liked it. This is supposed to be still in the same world that it was originally in. Whether they're going to fold that into DC proper, who knows? Or this will be another title in the Elseworlds banner. But it says this, interestingly enough, the timing lines up with reports that filmmakers recently had meetings with Gunn this week and that a major DC Studios announcement will happen. It says next week, but that's this week. There was like a closed event, closed door DC event. I don't know how you would word it, but effectively, DC Studios, James Gunn, Peter Safran, presumably David Zaslav as well, had a meeting with loads of filmmakers, and it was this big hoo-ha, big event, and now they're going to move forward and be like, hey guys, we got all this news for you, which will be interesting if that is the case. I mean, we'll see, right? Who knows? So it says this, among those filmmakers includes James Watkins on the Clayface movie. Gunn also happened to post a picture of himself with Zack Snyder, which obviously loads of people were like, maybe Zack's back at DC now. I don't know if that's the case. It may be. Who knows? But that's the kind of people that we're working with at this event, right? So just as an FYI, don't be surprised if this week we hear lots of directors being announced, maybe some more movies being announced. Who knows? But don't be surprised. So, Keanu spoke with Inverse, and he revealed that Constantine 2 script is ready to be written. So presumably the pitch went well. So he says, we've been trying to make this film for over a decade, and we just recently put a story together and pitched it to DC Studios, and they said, okay. Now, does that mean... I know I'm like, well, maybe that's them approving it fully and going to script stage. Okay is quite vague, that's why I said that. And it is vague, but then that is also just how Keanu talks. So it says this, so we're going to try and write a script. This is why I'm like, well, I'm not overly sure. We're going to try and write a script. I'm like, really? I don't know, like we're going to try and write a script. It's very non-committal, isn't it? Which is, again, why I'm using the language I'm using by going, well, does this mean it's been approved? So Reeves also confirmed the sequel will be set in the same world as the first movie. But, it does sound darker. It sounds much, much darker. So he says this. We're not going off that. John Constantine's going to be tortured even more. So, yeah, we're not going off that, as in, like, we're not going off that dark vibe. So, yeah, I think this is great. I think this is really, really good. So, this is what he said previously. Akiva Goldsman is writing, and Keanu and Akiva and I have been collaborating. This is Francis Lawrence, sorry. And I think we have some really, really great ideas, and we're super, super excited about. I think we're pretty close on having an object that is really workable. All I know is that we're really excited, and I haven't felt this excited about the project and this excited about how real it could be in the 20 years it's been. Holy shit. That makes me feel well old. And that makes me feel so old. Yeah, anyway, 20 years since I made the first one, so it has real possibility. I'm aching to play this guy, he said. And that's Reeves at the end there. So, again, we've not really learned a lot about what they're going to be doing with this movie. Again, just previously, though, says, I will say what was always important to me, and one of the things I really loved about the first movie was that the drive for John Constantine was very personal. This isn't just a guy who, a guy's got to save the world kind of thing. We had to find a way to make it a deeply personal story. By nature, John Constantine is quite a selfish guy, which is part of what I love about him. That was key, but yeah, I don't want to tease too much. It's a really fun character to revisit, and there's a great world to dive back into. A lot will feel familiar, but there will also be plenty that's new, different, and surprising. It definitely feels like a worthy next chapter. So they've kind of, again, over the years, right? And over the years, they've sort of flip-flopped on... Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It is interesting in terms of, like, how the language has been used. This is the original inverse interview, by the way. It's interesting. It really, really is. Yeah. They don't reveal too much more here, by the way. Just we take a look at it, just as an FYI. Yeah. This will be an interesting one to see how it develops and where it goes. And what they do with it. Again, the fact that it's been 2 decades. I mean, that's mental. Absolutely mental. But the excitement is good. The excitement's a really nice sounding thing. You know, when actors are excited about projects, it makes you feel good about it. Because they're doing a job, but when they're excited about the job they're doing, it does make you feel a little bit more confident in the ultimate media that we'll get. So there you go. Constantine 2 is now ready for a script, even though previously they implied that they'd already had a story ready to go. I don't know. It's intro. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens. But it may be that because they pitched stuff in the past, James Gunn's been like, no, go back or whatever. But there you go. There you go. You've got to get that. Was it Peter Stormare? The guy who played the devil back. You've got to get him back. He's epic. What a great actor. He needs to be back in it. Which presumably he will be. But anyway, there you go. Thoughts down below. Cheers, guys. Bye now.